Talking points for beyond the election that are useful for us all. Let me say things our way. I draw a line, imaginary line in front of me. On one side of that line is a priest, and the priest says, say what you mean what you say, everything else comes from evil. I draw that line into the middle, and there's a flip-flop, and that flip-flop represents original sin. I get into character as actors do. Those thoughts that fly through your head that have to do with the girls, you separate them from the idea of getting her pregnant. You have no sense of love or empathy, and you feel good hurting another person. You draw that line out to the other side, and that's a pimp, somebody who knows how to hustle, con, manipulate, and intimidate people. And that's Kamala Harris. Her and her group have done nothing but attack Trump personally. I saw one commercial where they said Donald Trump is evil. Then they showed the Ku Klux Klan marching in the street, and they said if Trump was elected, he would bring hate to the entire country. This is from a group who got an entire group of young people to take to the streets, put their fists in the air, set fires, and throw bombs. All of it is factually untrue, but it does play to our emotions. They're playing to our emotions, and that works. So let's stop and change the subject and talk about you and I. We do have a sense of original sin. We have a tendency to, our tendency is towards evil. In other words, we're a sucker for a bum's rush. You and I will go out and defend Stalin and Lenin and Chairman Mao. But if I said, okay, the Pope holds the moral high ground, let's put the Pope in charge, you and I will kick and scream. That's because it goes against our base nature. We actually feel as if we're getting into character, and in a way we are. Let's go back to Camelot now. Where are the philosophers? This is called an ad hominem argument, they would say, and then they would say, wait a minute, is there such a thing as a legitimate ad hominem argument? And yes, that's the kind of scoundrel that pulls that sort of thing. It's just them personally. It isn't the color of their skin or where they were born. It's just that they're not very nice people. And where are the psychologists? This is called an intellectual, but there were times when this had negative names, such as a psychopath and a sociopath. And where are the sociologists? An organization is patterned after the people who run it. And take a look. These guys had a blank check and unlimited resources, and there are people living in the streets and in poverty in the United States. You can't go back from the Democrats back to the Republicans, or from the liberals back to the conservatives. It's just those kinds of categories just won't work. You can't even turn to Donald Trump. You have to go behind his back, straighten things out, and then guys like Donald Trump would be in his glory. Please vote in the upcoming elections, but please understand, all these elections, this is all a big joke. You don't vote between democracy or communism, between free elections or doing away with free elections, between a judicial court or doing away with a judicial court or a judicial press. What do? You go back to God and country. Instead of courts saying there is no God, you replace them with the Apostles' Creed. There is only God and country. In psychology, you insist that our citizens are made up of normal, well-adjusted people. You bring back a court that will establish facts that are true as true. You bring back a press that will present the judicial and attack the sophistical. And you bring back home economics. Things that bring all of us out of poverty, and you make money by making somebody else better off. And that's what you do.